This is Cutting Down the Nets. Giant Saturday. Only one more big Saturday after this. In 2 weeks, we're going to have teams in the actual dance, punching tickets. What a time to be alive. Me? I'm having a good year. I'm on a little bit of a slide lately, but we're bouncing back. We're going to bounce back like right now. Um, so many options for this Saturday. We'll talk through lots of risk and hopefully land on the best plays. I'll be posting the spreadsheet and you can make your own bad decisions, right? So let's get to it. The columns that we're going to pay the most attention to are Paddy. That is our recent efficiency model. Basically looking at the last 6 to 15 games without giving up too much of the secret sauce. And then shot quality projections based on shot quality efficiencies. So I would consider this the results category, and I've tested this. It works very well over a number of years. And this the process category. When the process and the results both look good, it's fire the cannons. When results are good, but process is saying, yeah, they're a little unlucky, or they're a little lucky, maybe do some regression, then we get a little careful with it. And that's kind of what those colors mean. Torvik and KenPom are analytics sites. They shade towards recent data, but more of a full season number. And then we'll have the actual point spreads. Anything that's in color, I'm just going to touch on. So I'm going to try and go fast. The spreadsheet will be pasted in the description of this video. TCU Baylor shows as a Paddy play, but LJ Cryer's back for Baylor. He's missed 5 games. And the creep can roll. 52 out of 111 from three-point range. Both these teams are good offensive rebounding teams, but major turnover concerns for TCU here. It's just such a bad matchup that I don't really want to go there. And then shot quality is saying, yeah, I probably wouldn't go there. So that's a pass for me. Wofford and Furman, similar thing. I can't get a Furman bet right. They're three-point reliant. And if they're making threes, you can't beat them. And if they're not, they can't beat anybody, is what it has been like. So shot quality has this closer than recent efficiencies, so that's a pass. This one, man, I'm kind of pissed about this one. They did us no favors. Navy, super overvalued. They are 18-8, but shot quality has a record at 12-14. Keep in mind, Holy Cross is wholly bad, but the pace helps here. This is going to be a grinder, and Navy's definitely overvalued. It's just KenPom was 17, Torvik 16, and the books are making us deal with a 14. So this is something that I would watch. At a 15, I'll fire the cans for sure. I may at a 14.5. And hey, it's an early game, and I don't see a whole lot in the early game, so could even go there with a 14. Dayton at St. Joe's, shot quality and Paddy both prefer the Dayton side. You have to lay 6 at the moment. It's under my possession threshold, just like the Holy Cross game. So kind of monitoring it. I'm a buyer at 5.5, but certainly would like 4.5 or 5. Obviously, the fewer points, the better. So if that stays at 6, I'll stay away. Bryant's Fairleigh Dickinson is interesting. I don't really like to lay points in general, and I certainly don't like to lay big numbers. Here's why, too, if you're wondering. Let's say you're laying a big number versus, just having to cover a big number. If both teams play above average, that favors the dog. If both teams play below average, that favors the dog. Like, you have more outs when you're getting points is the main story there. So you have to play above average, and your opponent has to play below average if you're laying the points. But in this case, I've got it at 19. Shot quality 18.5. You're only laying 14.5, but Bryant has only covered that number against any opponent 3 times this year. This is a pace-up game. Bryant always plays fast, but this opponent, Fairleigh Dickinson, also plays fast. So I'm interested. Just don't like laying points. We'll see what happens. Southern Illinois, Indiana State. Both teams, some version of rim and 3. Sycamores have lit a lot of money on fire for me this year. They are the worst offensive rebounding team in the country. They played a 2-game set against Evansville, where I think they came out with 1 offensive rebound. You can fact check me on that, but it is It's very close. Horrific. So I expect Southern Illinois to control the offensive board, as that usually dictates pace. Let's get to an actual big game. Will Kentucky bounce back against Alabama? It sounds pessimistic that Ty goes again. True Gamer, though, showing up for the last one. Not quite himself. In the first meeting, Bama lost by 11, despite going 3 of 30 from three-point range. So here's the deal. I expect a motivated Kentucky team, but they're not at full strength, I don't think. So it's tricky. Line 6.5. Shot quality says 8. I say 12. I mean, everyone's in agreement here. It's a decent spot. It's not like Ty's worth 4 points. Like, college basketball players are rarely worth more than 2. I mean, he is important to the team, but yeah, I'll have to make a decision there. I don't know yet. So if you're seeing me scroll past these darker games, that's where shot quality is indicating luck or regression. So it's just a red flag for me, and I'm not betting it. So I have East Tennessee State by 4, and shot quality is saying, based on the shots taken, they actually prefer the Citadel side. The spread's right in the middle, but staying away from it. Northeastern at Hofstra, shot quality is right in line with the spread. Recent efficiency favors Hofstra, but they're lifted a bit by that 3-point barrage against Elon last game. Here's an interesting one. Howard at home against Morgan State. Should be fast pace. Lots of turnovers on both sides, but Howard has a shooting edge here. The line is 7. Shot quality thinks 14 based on the shots taken, and recent efficiencies say about 11. So that will make the final pool for sure. Clemson, Louisville, 2 teams that have fallen off a cliff. One got rid of their coach. Clemson 5 straight L's. Louisville 7 straight L's. It's pretty even. Clemson's just been a little more efficient. Shot quality favors the Clemson side. I favor the Clemson side. And it's currently Louisville -1. So not a whole lot of value there, but certainly some value. Whew, another no favor here. I'm just going to make this one yellow. I'm going to find a way to bet this game. I'm just pissed about it. Georgia State has been team regression all year, where it's like, the record's not there, but all the underlying stats say that this team is good. Now they're starting to bounce back. 6 point is where I have it. Shot quality is 8. KenPom and Torvik are like 1. So I thought we'd get a no-brainer lockdown road bet on Georgia State, and the books threw a 3.5 at us. So it's tricky. They did play each other on Thursday. There are major turnover and offensive rebound edges for Georgia State. They did force 11 turnovers in 68 possessions. They grabbed 14 offensive rebounds. And their offense hasn't really found that regression that we've been looking for yet. It's just they finally got some defensive 3-point regression where teams finally missed a perimeter shot against them. But it's not showing a lot of value here, which is frustrating because it should be very similar to the Holy Cross situation. So let's hope that slides back down. Billy Clyde Gillespie at Chicago State. Chicago State not as bad as they have been. They've been the worst team in college basketball for quite some time. But Paddy and shot quality both have this closer to a possession, and you're getting 2 possessions here. Although big turnover edge for Tarleton. I mean, any game Chicago State's in, they're at a turnover disadvantage. And they were turned over 13 times in 62 possessions in the first game. But I do think that's closer than you think. It's just we're not getting much value there. LSU at South Carolina, not much to note here other than the fact that, again, no favors. KenPom 6. I do think the LSU defense is back. They had like a 5-game lapse when they were not fully healthy. But South Carolina's just been steady, and they've been a good home team, and it's hard to win by 5 points on the road in conference play against a solid opponent, is what I would call South Carolina. So I wish we were getting the 6 that KenPom had at 4.5. I still like it. But there is a chance we get a better number. There's also a chance to get a worse number. That's the game we play. Hawaii at UC Irvine. Shot quality and Paddy both have this under possession. We're getting close to 2. These are 2 sound, defensive, slow teams. UC Irvine did rout Hawaii in the first game, despite Hawaii making 11 out of 25 from three-point range. It really came down to free throws. UCI made 9 more, but the matchup doesn't scream like, oh, the FTR, the free throw rate, really favors Irvine. Nah, it's fairly neutral. So I think it was a little bit fluky there. And I'll take the plus 5.5 for Hawaii. Drexel and Elon. Elon drugged down a little bit by Hofstra torching them from 3, but Drexel did win the first game by 28. So there's 2 sides of the coin there. You know, it's, hey, they're capable of beating this team by 28, but then you have the revenge factor. But looking like Drexel shot well from 3, but they didn't do that much to win by 28. So that gives me hope. But based on, I mean, what you did and how you did it are matching up and both showing as a play, albeit a little thin. VMI at Chattanooga, rebound advantage for the Mocs, but their three-point defense is prime for some regression. And here comes VMI. So shot quality and Paddy both like this to be closer than the number. But we're not getting much here. 3 points of value is not a lot. Here's a big shot quality one that Paddy favors as well. Houston Baptist, we've got it minus 11. Shot quality saying 4.5, and the line's 13. Here's why. Shot quality has 8 and 13. Houston Baptist as more like an 11 and 10 team, and 12 and 9 Nichols as a 10 and 11 team. The Houston Baptist profile is a tad stronger too because they have a game in there against Northwestern State where Northwestern State went 17 out of 26 from 3, and that really skews that data a bit. So, yeah, I might be closer to like 9 there, which would make that more like a green. We'll go ahead and color that one yellow too. Game of the day, North Texas, UAB. Man, I'd like to see both these teams make the dance, but that would mean like North Carolina doesn't get in. And don't worry, they won't play in Dayton either. They'll get like a 10 seed against like Butgers or something like that. It tilts me every year that these teams get left out so we can squeeze in another mid-major that had 16 chances to win a quad 1-2 game, and these guys like lose 1 game at UAB and like, well, not good enough. Like, oh, it's insane. Like those major conference bubble teams would never win at UAB. Anyway, these are good teams. North Texas 40th in shot quality, UAB 60th. I've got some personal biases here towards North Texas. They're well coached. Just get in the dance. Come on, get in the dance. We'll win a game. So I like that side. Enough said about that. Yeah, that one's kind of thin. We'll leave it orange. We're not going to talk about it. Gardner-Webb Presbyterian. Shot quality and Paddy are both aligned here at 4.1, and it's currently a pick'em. KenPom 3, Torvik 4. I mean, you know which way the line's going to go, so you might as well get some closing line value, and you can always buy your way out of it later if you get cold feet. Southeastern Louisiana, Incarnate Word. It's close. The Incarnate Word's a little better than their 5 and 22 record, but both these teams are pretty bad at lots of stuff. Huge record discrepancy here. Florida Gulf Coast is like 18 and 9. North Florida is like 10 and 17, something like that. Anyway, I have North Florida by about 3, and the line is Gulf Coast by 3, and shot quality supports that. But yeah, this feels like a good one. Both teams been running a little hot from 3, but I like this one. Ball State, Bowling Green, very similar situation where I just think the wrong team is favored. That Bowling Green defense has been real rough. Slight offensive rebound edge for them, and then free throw edge to Ball State. When I say free throw edge, I'm not talking free throw percentage. I don't cap free throw percentage. I'm talking free throw rate. One of the 4 factors. More info on that in the description of this video. Drake at Loyola should be a nice, chippy MVC game with maybe a fight at the end. That'd be kind of nice. These teams had some battles the last couple of years. And outside that 3-point barrage versus UNI, the Loyola offense has been fairly stagnant in conference play, just hovering around that 108 to 110 adjusted offensive efficiency, which is fine, but certainly not elite by any means. And I think Drake's due some shooting regression. So it's yellow. Card's already big. I'll probably go there, but would like a better number if possible. We go down to UC Davis at home against Cal State Bakersfield. Paddy has 10.5. Shot quality has 13. We only have to lay 5.5. UC Davis, tough interior efficiency, and Cal State Bakersfield already shoots 44% of their shots from the inefficient mid-range. So basically, you've got strong interior defense that limits the easy buckets, and then they allow you to shoot in the inefficient zone, the mid-range, where basically like only UCLA is good at it. And that's where Cal State Bakersfield kind of camps out anyway. So I really like matchups like that, and the data supports it. Sam Houston State, Savion Flag, give us one more. Just some huge values here based on recent efficiencies. So Rio Grande Valley just got torched from 3 by Seattle. Well, here comes Sam Houston State. So my concern is the spot. It's potential letdown after OT win versus Abilene Christian. But yeah, I don't know. They'll own the boards. Both teams should turn it over a little bit. Lane 6, KenPom's 5. Give me Sam Houston State. Portland's on a heater. Portland's looking good. They're playing really well. The market's catching up a bit, though, having to lay 8. But yeah, I'm showing a lot of value here, and shot quality's not going to disagree with it. They might not be as extreme as Paddy, but still support the play. Last game worth noting, BYU St. Mary's. St. Mary's playing really well lately, but shot quality not quite there. They think the line is pretty fair. So, as you saw, there is a significant amount of games that are close, that if we got just a point of movement would be kind of right in the wheelhouse. And in the description of this video, you will see every handicap line. And then if the games were close, I threw the shot quality projection in there. That's a manual calculation for me, and man, I hate adding manual steps to my process. So this is what my card looks like right now. I noted 2 games where the KenPom number is indicating that you may be able to wait, but in all cases of the other ones, I think you could bet sooner than later. Like Sam Houston, KenPom's 5, but I don't see people driving that down against Rio Grande Valley. So there you have it. This is cutting down the nets, and we're going to have a big finish going into March Madness, and then things are going to get nuts. We're going to have a lot of fun for March Madness. So thanks for stopping by, cutting down the nets.